All right. Hello, everybody. KnowItAllDM here, doing a showcase of the latest update to my Yellowjacket transport. I have called this the YX-1002D Yellowjacket Dreadnought. The Yellowjacket Dreadnought is a refit of the Yellowjacket transport made for major military use. Now, some major upgrades. First of all, in the control panel, the Dreadnought is categorized into quick systems sets so that you can utilize your power consumption to the best of your ability. As you can see, deactivating flight mode, which deactivates all the thrusters and the RCSs, adds 22 extra hours to it just floating in space. So whenever you're not actually flying, you can deactivate flight mode to save a lot of power. In addition, there is the space systems, which currently consists only of the gravity generator, which you can turn on in space and turn off when you're on the planet to save even more power. The standard operations include most of the standard lighting, in addition to the advanced constructor, repair bay, and food processors, which you turn off when you go into combat, activating the combat systems. Now, the combat systems include all the weapons and a whole bunch of emergency lighting, which basically I just wanted a sort of red alert style. So whenever you turn on combat mode, as you can see right here, you turn off the standard operations and turn on combat stations, and everything lights up red. All the lights are red. Every room is lit up where you can see, but it's red, indicating red alert. And the combat systems down, the command center down here is only lit up during combat, during combat stations. So in order to turn combat stations off, as you'll see, all the lights here go off, and you can just resume standard operations. Standard operations is also, like I said, is your primary lighting source as well for standard operating things. Now, you may notice there's a ramp here, which is an emergency exit, but it also has one of my newest creations, which is a small fighter vessel that has a couple of lasers on it. This is the Stinger, specifically the SX101 Stinger. Now, like I said, it's got a couple of lasers on the front, and that's its only weaponry, but it does have an O2 station and some storage in case you want to use it for storage. And if you push it over to the left side, you can just do like that, and when you get in, you can just get in and exit. But I'm not going to do that just yet because it's hard to get back in once you have exited. It's really rather easy exiting, but getting out is a little difficult. Now, the Yellowjacket Dreadnought has also been upgraded with a whole bunch of extra weaponry. In addition to the standard rockets and miniguns that the transport has, additional miniguns have been added, as well as the massive artillery cannons. And in the back, there are also some laser turrets. So I've got an artillery cannon down here and one up there, and I've got 4 laser turrets, 1, 2, and then on the other side are 3 and 4. And then I've got an additional laser turret up here to make 5. So from just about any direction that you attack this thing, you will be attacked by turrets. Now, during combat... Come on, stop doing that. During combat operations, the turrets are active, but when you turn the combat stations off, all the turrets deactivate to save power. So you'll want at least one person whose primary goal is to keep an eye on when combat is about to ensue, and activating combat stations and all that when you go into battle. Now, the crew quarters have also been modified. The first 4 quarters here are identical to what they were in the transport, and I'll just come down and give you a quick look at that. You've got a bed a cargo box, a little control station here, and a bathroom. Whereas, and these are primary for your your officers' quarters, and then back here you've got Marine quarters, which are set up with bunks that you've got 3 different bunk beds, so you can fit 6 Marines in each one of these 4 quarters. So that's 24 Marines right here that you can have housed right up top. Now, while you're in space, you may also have noticed, probably not, but I modified up here so that if you need to exit in space, you can just hit your jetpack and exit, and you're outside. So anybody who's up here, which is usually going to be the Marines seated along here, will be able to exit right up there and make a space assault at whatever station you have that you're assaulting, or enemy capital ship, or whatever you have. The mess hall has also been modified. Instead of the single table, there are multiple tables for your crew to dine at. Over here, we have the door that will misbehave on you. This is the primary supply thing. You may want to name your cargo boxes or color them or whatever you want so you remember what's in them, but for these you primarily will have weapons and emergency supplies because this is a dreadnought made for combat. Also in the mess hall, just like in the standard transport, you've got 2 refrigerators and 2 food processors. Now, the engine room hasn't been changed from the transport to the dreadnought, with the exception of the inclusion of the combat mode lighting. There are still the 4 ammo boxes, so you won't be able to have as much ammo per turret, but because you have more different types of turrets, but you still have those. Now, coming down into here, we still have the gardens in here. Now, it's possible that you want to replace this with a more like an armory or something to hold, more weapons and the like. But for now, I just left it as a garden because if you're in space with a large crew, you're definitely going to want to be able to feed them. Now, the Pillbug shuttles have been replaced with the new Hornet Shuttle. This is the PX-901 Hornet. It's a modification of the Pillbug, which, if you look at it, it looks relatively similar, but it has been upgraded to be combat worthy with more combat, and it's more maneuverable than the stink bug or the poison bug. As you can see, it turns better, it rotates better, simply because it is a lighter vessel. It's equipped with 4 miniguns and a single rocket turret, or rocket launcher, but it is a heavy combat vessel, an anti-fighter heavy combat vessel. Now, let me get back over to the Yellowjacket, and I will continue the tour of the Dreadnought. I just love the way that the vessel looks, and as you can see, the Hornet's front has been modeled largely after the front of the Yellowjacket. Alright. Now let's rotate to match, and let's just dock right over here. Now, there are 2 Hornets attached to the Dreadnought, which I will be uploading all of my all of these creations to the workshop, so that you can get the entire package, and I will add them in a I don't remember what you call it, but where it's a group of things. I think you can do that. Anyway, close and down. So there you have the Hornet. Now, the emergency lighting, like I said, flows all throughout the ship, so every corridor and everything has the emergency lighting in it. Down here in the cargo bay, you will notice that it has been refitted as a landing bay for some heavier vessels and several. It's got a total of 8 Stingers in here, and it's got one of my more favorite latest creations, the Bumblebee. Now, the Bumblebee is a heavy bomber which is equipped with 3 different types of weapons. In addition to the standard missiles, you've got the homing missiles, which aim for the core of a vessel, or I think it may be the center of mass of the vessel. So when you aim at a vessel, you'll see that it aims towards the center of it, regardless of where I shoot, rather than like that will hit the back. But if I switch to this, even if I'm aiming to the back, it aims towards the center of it. So it's probably not the center of mass, but the actual center of it. Now, it does have 2 Gatling guns that it has equipped just in case you get engaged by some fighters and need to take them out. But the homing missiles are relatively good for taking out fighters as well, fighters and drones and the like. Now, it doesn't maneuver too well, so you're definitely going to want to have it escorted by some Stingers and the Hornets. But it is a heavily destructive vessel. It's got 4 standard missile launchers and 4 homing missile launchers, as well as the 2 Gatling guns. So this is what you want to use when you're going up against capital ships, so you can take out the capital ships relatively quickly with your missiles, your large variety of missiles. Now, as you can see on the back of the ship, there are 3 ammo boxes on this, and those are what I usually would put regular missiles and like regular missiles on the 2 exterior ones, because that's what you're going to be using most often. And then the homing missiles and Gatling guns I would put in the center yellow box. So let me just come on over here. Now, in order to dock into the Yellowjacket, it's best if you turn around first and then use the Alt key to look behind you and then maneuver in like such. Because otherwise, if you're in first person mode or looking forward, you've got a greater chance to hit your wings on the sides. And once you get in like this, you can just bring it back in and down. Usually I would just bring it down immediately after you hear the thing close. So now to access the fuel tanks on these, you access them right through here, and the oxygen tank and the ammo boxes. Everything else is surrounded, apart from the turrets, of course, or the thrusters. The engine, the core, everything is... why is that not painted? That needs to be painted. Is surrounded by hardened steel. So, and is this one also like that? Yes. So I'm going to need to update that blueprint, but that's okay. So, but that's the basics of the upgrade to the Yellowjacket Dreadnought. Now, if you're wondering, the Stingers, they fly pretty much the same as the mini-pod. So it's like having a mini-pod with more guns and less cargo space on it. And I made it specifically so it can fit in a 1x1 square, so you can fit in all different types of tight spaces and the like. This back here is still like normal, but back here I upgraded these to the crew quarters for the gunners, your turretsmen and the like. There are exactly enough bunks back here for your for everyone who controls one of your turrets. So there's 16 back there. So you got 16 there plus the, what was it, 24 up here, the 24 Marines up here, and then your 4 officers. So that's a total of what is that, 24 plus 16 is 40, so 44 if my math is correct. It might not be. You guys can correct me if it's not. But that is the entirety of the update for the Yellowjacket Dreadnought. So I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase. Let me know in the comments below what you think of my designs, and I hope you look forward to more. I'm KnowItAllDM. Y'all have a good day now.